The big thing, though, on Dynamite was the debut of Tommaso Ciampa. Boy, that was quick. In a deal that was agreed to on Monday per Fightful. So this all came together very quickly. He made his debut on AEW Dynamite. So basically, AEW gets Tommaso Ciampa and WWE gets Powerhouse Hobbs. But Mark Briscoe was out there extending an open challenge for the TNT title on Collision when the lights went out. We saw a beating heart up on the Tron, some new badass music. We saw the word Psycho Killer, and then it changed to Tommaso Ciampa, and he emerged and got a very good response from the crowd. And Ciampa explained the move from WWE to AEW to Sports Illustrated. In his own words, said, "It's something I've been leaning towards for quite some time. I don't know that I can say there's one sole factor that led to it or caused it. I think it's one of those things where your contract is coming to an end. You naturally have discussions." So he said those discussions started at home with his wife and daughter. They collectively sat down as a family and discussed where the best place would be for him to continue his career. Ultimately, the decision was made to part ways with WWE after a decade-long tenure. He said, "If I wrestled in the 90s, I would want to be a part of ECW. Early 2000s, you want to be a part of Ring of Honor. I was lucky that I got to do that a little bit. 2010s, I think for me at least, I wanted to be a part of NXT Black and Gold. And when I looked at the landscape of professional wrestling in the 2020s, the answer was AEW, man. That's what I want to be a part of." So he showed up. He accepted the challenge. They had their match on Collision last night. I did go back and watch them as a very good match. And I was hoping that they would do a title change, because why debut this guy in such fashion and then just have him lose? And they did the title change. We have a brand new TNT champion, and his name is Tommaso Ciampa. So that's a very good kickoff for him. Now, he also, in that interview with Sports Illustrated, said that he was unable to fully bring his Psycho Killer persona to WWE's main roster. He said, "There were a lot of times I tried, and for one reason or another, over the years, it just wasn't something that I could do. But for Tony Khan and the whole crew to just collaborate the way they did and have open arms and see the vision and just allow it to breathe and have a chance, I'm already thinking 6 months, 12 months ahead on the evolution of the Psycho Killer." And he went on to say that he is a better performer now than he was when he was in Black and Gold. And I think this right here is kind of the key quote that really clues you into his mindset as far as why he made this jump. He said, "For a long time, I had to listen to people tell me, not so much directly to my face, but more so online, that 2018 was prime Ciampa." And he basically said that it makes him sick. I think he said that in another interview that he did. But here he said that I'm 100 times better now than I was then. That was nothing. That was absolutely nothing. I finally have a shot to find out if I am as good as I think I am. And it was in another interview that I saw with him on YouTube where he said the same thing, and he said that it made him absolutely sick to hear people saying that. He goes, "In every facet, I am better now than I was then. In terms of my in-ring, I'm a better in-ring performer. In terms of my storytelling ability, I'm a better storyteller now. In terms of my promos, I'm a better promo. Like in every single category, I am better now than that version of Tommaso Ciampa." And he has to constantly listen to people reminisce and romanticize about the great days of Ciampa when he was at his peak in 2018 in NXT. And so if he honestly believes that he is a better performer now and more well-rounded performer now than he was then, sure, you can see where that would really get under his skin and it would bother him. Like in his head, he had to know that if he stayed in WWE, nothing was going to change. Like the last things that he was really doing, he was doing this story where people were going around on SmackDown calling him a jackass and turning it into comedy. In the last match he had, of course, he had a killer match with Ilya Dragunov, I think, right? When he still had the belt, or was it Carmelo Hayes? I think it was Ilya Dragunov. And they had that killer match together. But you know for a fact that if he were to re-sign with WWE for another 3 or 4 years, ain't nothing going to be different for him. He had his role on the show, the Psycho Killer, all these ideas he had for himself. If it didn't happen by now, it wasn't going to happen a year from now or 2 years from now. He had to make a choice. And if it really made him sick to his stomach to hear people saying these things like, man, if I stay here, they're always going to think that I peaked out in 2018. They're not going to have any concept of how good I really am now. I've got to go somewhere else and prove this to them. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. If that's what was in his head and in his heart, he had to leave. I mean, he didn't have to go to AEW. He could have gone to TNA. He could have gone to Japan. Apparently, he has an interest maybe in wrestling with New Japan. He could have worked indies every weekend and been killing it on there. Just to go out there and show people, I'll show you peak Ciampa, right? But he chose to go to AEW, and in AEW, I don't know. Is he going to work indies? He might not. He may end up being exclusive to AEW. Some people only do AEW. Some people work indies. I guess time will tell. But he made his choice because this is where he wanted to be. And I'm glad that, he seems to be a lot happier now for it. Creatively, it looks like he'll have a lot more freedom to collaborate on certain things that he would not have had in WWE. And I would say, as far as getting a head start on things, him winning the TNT title less than a week after debuting, it's a pretty good way to start things out. And I'll tell you another great way to start things out. His entrance music. I talk about the importance of entrance music. We just had a Royal Rumble last night where, again, in the Women's Rumble especially, you have women coming out to the most generic sounding garbage. And it's hard even to identify who the music is attached to sometimes. In AEW, Mikey Ruckus is the one who was responsible on very short notice. He had like a 36-hour window to whip up new theme music for Tommaso Ciampa. And he was able to do that. And the music is badass. It's a great thing. I thought the whole presentation, from the beating heart and everything right on into the music when he walks out, was spot on. I just thought it was very well done. I want to give a shout out to John Kiernan. And on his Ropes and Rips podcast, he had Joe Altier on as his guest. He's the vocalist for the band Brand New Sin. And he's the voice that you hear in Big Show's themes in WWE and AEW. He is the vocalist on Ciampa's new AEW theme, which is called My Shadow Knows. I don't know if it's on Spotify yet. If not, it should be soon. But he's the voice that you hear at the beginning of the song. And considering it all came together on very short notice, I think it's a great piece of business. So far, so good. It's only been a week. It's only week number 1. I don't know where Ciampa ultimately will fall in the pecking order there. I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion, but I think he'll be able now to go out there and actually show what he can do and not feel like he's sort of trapped in a little box. Like, this is your role and this is what your role on the show is, and you can't go out there and have these killer matches. You can't go out there and do this. You can't go out there and do that. And now hopefully he'll have the ability to do so. Hopefully he'll be able to go out there and have those kinds of matches.